Rakka is the first video released by Oats Studios, which is basically Neil Blomkamp, the director of District 9, Chappie, and that other film with Matt Damon. And he's trying to basically launch a bunch of short sci-fi films onto the internet under his Oats Studios YouTube name. And this is the first of them. Now, this is a film set in a post-apocalyptic world where an alien species, like a lizard alien species, has invaded the Earth and has basically enslaved humanity. There is a small, rebellion that is going on, and most of all this is described to you in the opening couple of minutes. Now, what I would say about this film is that it does look fantastic. The special effects are amazing. Neil Blomkamp's background is in special effects. The guy knows how to create very realistic looking aliens with all kinds of little details and bubbly skin and destruction and gore. I'll have to say gore is magnificent in this film. Cutting people blowing up. He does it brilliantly. I've never seen it done better. The concept is actually really cool. These like lizard aliens that can intrude into our minds and control us, and they're trying to get something from us. It's a bit ambiguous, but it looks great. The idea is quite interesting. You've got Sigourney Weaver as one of the main characters who's kind of recruiting people for the rebellion to kind of fight back after him. What I will say is that this film feels like a feature film that's been condensed down into 20 minutes. There's lots to get through here, and because of that there's a lot of exposition. So at the very start of it you're told a lot of the premises, what's going on, and that can be a little bit, overload. I would have liked some of this stuff to kind of guess, or maybe a bit ambiguous so you can think a bit more about it. This way it's just kind of delivered to you, so you kind of know it all off. You don't really need to think that much, which is a bit of a downside to it. Another bad thing is that some of the characters feel a bit underwritten. I mean, you've got Sigourney Weaver there, and she does do well for what she has got, but I think we would have liked to see her a bit more. Basically, she's just going around kind of almost recruiting others and just talking to others, and then there's the action scenes. And there's also a bit of a thing with Neil Blomkamp's writing, and I think people can kind of see it in Chappie, is that some things feel a bit underwritten and maybe a bit predictable. I think he uses some film cliches a bit too obviously, like the crazy bomb character that is, he's not right in the head, but it's the guy they need. Like, I've seen that in other films, and he's here again. And then there's the one where, a character is obviously turning back on them and they're hesitating, and I understand the hesitation, but it's just a scene that we've seen all too much, and when you see it, you know how it's going to play out, and you're kind of like, okay, there it is. What else have you got? So all in all, this is actually one of Neil Blomkamp's better attempts. I think he's probably got more creative control. I was pretty let down by Chappie. And whilst you can see some of the errors of Chappie just in the writing and maybe in the blocking of the actors and how he handles those scenes, he has done a lot better here. Once again, the exposition is a bit overkill. It's telling you and showing you all these things in the first couple of minutes. Personally, I just would have liked to be a bit more guessing of what this world is and how it all happened. I wanted more, but it feels like I was told a lot of it. But otherwise, really good film. Pretty entertaining. There's three kind of parts in it. The intro, then you go into the main characters, and then kind of like a final action scene. For their first film, I think it's pretty cool. I think Blomkamp's kind of had a bit of a return to form here. You can obviously see he knows exactly what he's doing. There's a big budget behind this thing. Like, all the special effects looks like it's done by a big Hollywood budget. So he knows how to direct. He knows how to make something look good. My only worry is some of those more, the character scenes, stuff that we want to kind of relate to. Maybe he kind of brushes over them a bit quickly in order to get to the action and the special effects. But otherwise, I think it was a pretty good film. Which leads me to think, how would he have handled an Alien 5 film that he's talked about? Especially since Alien Covenant came and went and was largely unimpressive. I will say, though, Ridley Scott can do really well with his actors, and the scenes can be intense. But in terms of Neil Blomkamp's story and concepts, I think he's probably got a better mind to it. So I always would have preferred to see not Alien Covenant, but a meeting of the minds between Ridley Scott and Neil Blomkamp on that Alien 5 idea, which seems to have taken place on Earth or in some institution where they're trying to house aliens. I'm not too sure about the details, I'm just speculating here. But no, I definitely think it would be exciting to see an Alien 5 from Neil Blomkamp, and also from the rest of Oats Studios. I think I'm pretty excited to see what else they've got in mind, especially with this sci-fi idea. I will do a review of the next episode, which I think has just landed. But anyway, yeah, that's my review of Rakka. Rakka!